Hello, my name is Kiera Lyons, and for Project 5, I did nutrition, and specifically the mental and physical effects that caffeine has on an athlete. What is caffeine? Caffeine is a stimulant, meaning that it increases some of the body's processes. For example, messaging moving between the brain and the body can travel faster. This is one reason why a person may feel more alert or focused after consuming caffeine. Caffeine occurs naturally in certain plants, nuts, and seeds, and manufacturers add it to some foods and drinks. Some mental effects of caffeine are that the drug is notorious for causing the jitters and anxiety, particularly at high doses. People with underlying mental health issues may be more susceptible. A review of 8 studies found that caffeine aggravated symptoms of anxiety and panic disorder. This is a quote from Budney, who is a professor at the psychiatry at Dartmouth Medical School. He says the world doesn't broadcast that caffeine can be an addictive drug that might cause problems. Certainly, its overuse may not be as scary as other drugs. The consequences aren't so dramatic. Such less severe consequences, however, may reduce awareness or concern about the potential problem that could prompt taking action. Caffeine withdrawal syndrome occurs when people skip a dose of caffeine and experience headaches, fatigue, depression, and trouble concentrating. Some of the short-term effects of caffeine are that the effect of caffeine usually starts within 5 to 30 minutes and can last from 8 to 12 hours. Less than 20 milligrams of caffeine, which is 1 to 2 cups of coffee, can make you more alert, put you in a better mood, and make you feel less tired. Small amounts of caffeine may make your blood pressure go up, increase your heart rate, and make you pass urine more. If you have caffeine before bed, it can make it harder to fall asleep, and larger amounts of caffeine, which is 600 milligrams or more, can cause shaking, make you have terrible sleeping, make you very aggravated, cause a fast, irregular heartbeat, which might feel like your heart is racing, make you feel irritable, restless, and nervous. Some more short-term effects are that it's rare for adults to die from a caffeine overdose. However, children can die from as little as 1 gram of caffeine. Some products with caffeine have higher than the recommended doses of caffeine for children and teens. For example, most energy drinks. So using them may cause health or behavioral problems. Mixing caffeine and alcohol increases your chances of drinking and driving or getting into a vehicle with someone who has been drinking. This could lead to you or someone being hurt or killed. You might not realize how drunk they are, and the caffeine or energy drink might mask the drowsiness related to the drinking. You might also drink more than normal if you combine alcohol and caffeine, which are also energy drinks. Some long-term effects are that some women who drink more than 3 cups of coffee a day may be at risk of bone fractures as they age. Regular use of more than 600 milligrams of caffeine might cause short-term effects. Long-term effects at this level may include chronic insomnia, constant anxiety, depression, and stomach problems. It can also cause high blood pressure or make your blood pressure worse. More than 300 milligrams of caffeine, which is about 2 to 3 cups of coffee in a day, may be linked to miscarriages and low birth weight babies. It could also end up leading to Alzheimer's. And lastly, most healthy adults that use low to moderate amounts of caffeine, which is up to 3 cups of coffee every day, don't seem to have any long-lasting effects. Caffeine overdose. Caffeine overdose is most likely to result from taking a dietary supplement or caffeine tablets. Supplements increase the risk due to having higher levels of caffeine than food and drinks. Unlike drinking coffee or even taking supplements containing caffeine, using purified caffeine powder is highly dangerous and much more likely to cause an overdose. A teaspoon of powdered caffeine can be equivalent to 28 cups of coffee. The cause of death from caffeine overdose is typically ventricular fibrillation. A person might find consuming too much caffeine and experiencing side effects to be easy. In a 2018 review of a scientific journal, researchers identified 92 reported deaths from caffeine overdoses. In general, caffeine will begin to affect the body if there are more than 15 milligrams per liter in the blood. A concentration of 80 to 100 milligrams per liter can be fatal. How does caffeine affect younger people? Caffeine has a different effect on children and teens because their bodies are smaller. Children who drink soda or energy drinks with caffeine might feel anxious, be irritable, have trouble sleeping, or even wet the bed. Some teens who use a lot of caffeine may have health problems like increased or abnormal heart rate or chest pain. College and university students might harm their health by using lots of caffeinated products such as coffee, energy drinks, caffeine pills to keep them awake so they can study longer for school. Larger amounts of caffeine for a long period of time can make you feel restless, agitated, or excited, having excited or confused thoughts, like your mind is racing, trouble falling asleep, and staying asleep. Can you get addicted to caffeine? Absolutely. As your body gets used to the caffeine, it needs more and more of it to get the same effect. As the amount of caffeine goes up, so does the risk of side effects. You can become dependent on caffeine from regularly drinking 300 milligrams, which is about 2 to 4 cups of coffee a day. You might feel like you need it or you can't function without it, or that you aren't fully awake until you've had your cup of coffee because your mind is groggy or fuzzy. If you suddenly stop drinking caffeine, you might have withdrawal symptoms like headaches, problems sleeping, feeling irritable, tired and depressed, lack of energy, falling down, having trouble focusing or concentrating. Withdrawal symptoms begin 12 to 24 hours after you stop caffeine. Most symptoms go away within a few days. Products with caffeine: coffee, decaf coffee, tea, stimulants, energy shots or drinks, painkillers, cola drinks, dark chocolate, milk chocolate, and snacks with caffeine, for example, gum, fruit chews, and jelly beans. These are some statistics from 2019. Caffeine in any form was consumed by 92% of students in 2019. The daily caffeine consumption for all students, including non-consumers, was 159 milligrams per day, with a mean intake of 173 milligrams per day among caffeine users. Coffee was the main source of caffeine intake in male, 120 milligrams per day, and female, 111 milligrams per day for consumers. Male and female students consumed 53 versus 30 milligrams per day of caffeine in energy drinks, respectively, and 28% consumed energy drinks with alcohol on at least one occasion. Students provided multiple reasons for caffeine use. Look at the provided chart and you can see the statistics lined out and the reasons why they were enjoying their coffee. Medical study research. There was a study conducted on male athletes by giving a few players gum that contained caffeine and monitoring their performances. Researchers say that the data suggests that a low dose of caffeine in the form of a caffeinated chewing gum initiates the sprint performance decrement during repeated sport performance by team sport athletes with low but not moderate to high habitual consumption of caffeine. Medical study research continued. The researchers suggested that their findings indicate that regular caffeine intake most likely affect the performance-enhancing benefits of the drug. With this in mind, they recommend that athletes who drink coffee regularly should cut down in the lead-up to a sports performance. If not, they may be unlikely to reap the rewards of a caffeine supplement. Thank you so much for listening. If you have any questions, feel free to email me at that. And here are my sources for all of my information.